Today we are going to discuss about option strategies. Little bit more onto the options. I thought this would be helpful. So we are going to discuss today option strategies. Before we move into option strategies, I'll summarize or remind you basics of options. Hope you can remember what are options and what sort of options, when to use options, and basic concepts that we discuss about options. So, can you remember options? What does it mean by option?
So we can't see the board here.
You can see that.
That part we can't see, like, I don't know. Options.
Can you?
O, the letter O we can't see.
Sorry?
Options only TION we can see, like remaining two letters can't see. Maybe.
You can't see.
So yes.
That means you can see only from.
Yeah.
From
Correct.
Point.
Yes.
Somewhere here.
Yes, can see. Yes,
can see. Okay. Options. What is an option? Option.
Right. It's a right.
Right. To whom? Who gets the right?
Buyer.
Buyer. Gives the right to the
Buyer.
Buyer. To do what?
Either buy or sell.
To buy or sell. But don't get misunderstood that you get both options simultaneously. Depending on what type of options that you bought, you get that either to the right to buy or either right to sell. You get only one right. What are the two types? Based on that, whether you get a right to buy or whether you get a right to sell, that is call option.
Put option.
Or put option. Call option, you get right to
buy. Buy.
In a put option, you get
right to sell.
Right to sell. When do you have this right? Again, that depends on the type of the option that we discuss. There are another two categories depending on when you can exercise this right. What are those? Depending on the timing. How do we classify? Basic categories. American option. And the put option, sorry, European option. I hope you can see.
Yes.
What's the difference between American option and European option? What's the difference between American option and European option?
American option, you can anytime exercise. European option, you have to wait until the maturity.
Yes. In the American option, you can write, so you can exercise your right anytime. But in the European option, only at the expiry. These are the basic. Call option gives a right to buy to the buyer of the option. Put option gives a right to sell the underlying to the put option buyer. And when do they get that right? That depends on whether it's an American option or a European option. If it is an American option, the buyer can exercise his or her right at any time. But in a European option, the buyer can exercise his or her right only at the expiry. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll move into payoff diagrams. Payoff diagrams for a call, say for a long call. Better always think from the buyer's point of view. So, for a long call option, what is the payoff diagram? What are the two axes?
Profit 10.
This is the payoff.
Payoff 10.
This side, price of the spot price of the underlying asset. Simply we write it as price. Then what are the key points? X. What is that? That is the strike price. What does it mean, strike price? Strike price is the contractual price. Call option buyer can buy the underlying asset at the strike price. Clear? Call option buyer can buy the underlying asset by paying the strike price. Now, two scenarios. In the payoff, we don't consider premium. What is premium? What is premium? That is the price that the buyer pays to the seller to buy the option. The premium is the amount paid by the buyer of the option to the seller of the option. So in the payoff diagram, we don't consider premium, but what is the final cash flow without considering the premium. what would happen if the price on the, assume European option, it's easy. On the expiry date, price of the underlying asset remains below strike price. As an option buyer, what do? You have bought a call option, European call option. Now you are on the maturity date.
But
The price of the underlying asset is now less than the strike price that you, the price that you agree. What do?
we will buy from the market.
Do you exercise your right?
No.
No, you won't exercise your right because you can buy at a lower price
Lower rate.
from the market. So therefore, whenever the price is at the strike or below the strike, you won't get any advantage, any gain on the option. So there's no any payoff. Neither you pay or the seller of the option pays. But after the strike, what would happen? You will exercise your right. That means you will buy the asset at the strike price, whereas the price of the asset is higher than this. So indeed, when you settle the transaction, you won't buy it. When you exercise, you will get the cash amount as the difference between market price and the difference between market price and the strike. You will get this as payoff. So when market price is above strike, you will get positive figures, but if it is negative, you don't get or you don't pay anything. So therefore, this is valid only when this is positive. So when market price increases, your payoff increases. So therefore, it will be a straight line like this. This is the payoff diagram for a long call option. What is the payoff diagram for a long put option? You can see.
No, sir. That area we can't see.
This end you can't see.
No, you can't. We can't see from like above that line, red line. Right side of the red line, we can't see. Yeah. So up to that point, we can see. Yes. No, you can't see. We can't see.
Okay. Then I'll explain. This is the payoff diagram, but the profit diagram is different. What is the profit diagram? That is what that shows your profit. So that means this is payoff, what you get at the end. But the profit is
we need to consider premium.
So yes, when we calculate the profit, we consider the premium. So profit is payoff minus premium. So when the price is less than the strike price, what is the payoff? When the price remains below strike, payoff is zero. No payoff. So therefore, you incur a loss. to this point, you incur a loss. That loss equals to the amount of premium that you pay. But after that, what would happen? Initially, the loss will start to get lower, then it will turn into a profit. So, parallel to the payoff line, there will be the profit. So this blue color line shows the profit. Black color line shows the payoff. Clear? Can you remember? Anything else? So what is this break-even point? We call this break-even point or the break-even price. Break-even price is equals to the strike plus premium. The difference, this difference is equals to the difference equals to the premium. So therefore, this break-even price is strike plus premium. So at that price, you won't get any profit or loss, but there will be a cash flow. The seller of the option will pay you again the same amount as the premium. Clear? So if I ask you what would be the profit diagram or the payoff diagram, whatever it is, either payoff or profit diagram for a seller of a call option, what would be the diagram? It would be the mirror image of this diagram when you put a mirror on this x-axis. You know the basic concept. I think if I put something like this, what does it mean? This is a mirror, and the top side is the reflecting side. This is the side where we have put the mercury. So image will get this way. This will go like this. Payoff diagram go like this. Profit diagram would be something like this. These two are for the seller of the call option. Is it clear?
Yes.
So then we'll move into long put option. What is the payoff for a long put option? What's the right that you get as a buyer?
Right to sell.
You get right to sell. Okay. This is the strike price. what do you do? If the spot price or the market price of the underlying asset on the expiry date is less than strike, what do you do? If the market price of the underlying asset is lower than the strike price, then what do? You have a right to sell. You can
Yes,
sell
right.
the asset at strike price. Now the market
Right,
price
right.
is less than that. So you will exercise your right. That means you will sell it at the strike price. So basically you will get the difference between market price and the strike. So in this way, payoff is other way around, strike minus market price. Again, this is either this or zero, whatever maximum figure, because payoff never will be negative. Never be negative. It is always either zero or positive figure. So you get the payoff. When the market price is zero, you will get the maximum. Strike has the maximum payoff. Gradually, it will decline up to this point. What do you do when the market price is above the strike price? You won't exercise your right because you can sell that asset in the market at a higher price. So the payoff will be zero. That is the payoff diagram for a long put option. For a buyer of a put option, this will be the payoff diagram. Then what is the profit diagram? Like in the call option, to buy the put option, you have to pay the premium. When we calculate the profit, what do? Again, same as earlier. Profit is the difference between payoff and the premium. Payoff minus premium. So profit always less than the payoff. Everywhere profit will go down. When the market price increases, profit goes down. When the market price equals to strike, you will incur the maximum loss. And beyond that, it will be flat. What is this difference? That equals to, and this is again break even. Break even price equals to this time X minus premium. Strike price minus premium. That is the payoff diagram and the profit diagram for a long put option. Again, for a short put option, this will be the mirror image on the x-axis. For option seller, when the market price is less than strike, he has to pay this amount, so it will be a loss. Payoff goes down, negative cash flow, and the profit also negative. When the price is above the strike, we just collect the premium. That's the only income when the price is above the strike price. Clear? So these are the basics of options. Today what we are going to discuss is option strategies. Today what we are going to discuss is option strategies. There are two types of strategies: combinations and spreads. So, however, spreads and combinations, these are the two types of strategies. So, in both strategies, we combine more than one option. It may be combination of call options, or a combination of put options, or combination of call and put. Depending on that, we define whether it's a spread or a combination. So, option spread, that is simultaneous purchase and sale of options in the same class. What does it mean? That same class, that can be call. Same class means if it is call options, purchase and sale would be call options. If it is put options, purchase and sale would be on put options. So it's not a combination of put and call. The spread is either based on put or based on call. What do we do? Simultaneously purchase a call, and simultaneously at the same time we'll sell a call. Buy a call and sell a call, or buy a put and sell a put. That is we called a spread. Simultaneous purchase of and sale of call, two call options or two put options. Buy a call and sell a call, or buy a put and sell a put. Again, there are three different types: vertical spread, horizontal spread, and diagonal spread. In the vertical spread, okay, what are the things that we have to consider in options? The variables we can change in an option is, what are the variables that you can change in option? In an option, what are the variables that you can change for a given underlying? Underlying is, you decide what is the underlying, on what underlying that you are going to purchase the option. Then what do you have to decide? what is the maturity. That means what's the expiry. In option jargons, what's the expiry? Whether it's a 1 week one or a 1 month option or a 6 month option, likewise. Then what do you decide? Other thing is the strike price. The premium will be decided based on these three and volatility in the market. This is something that you cannot control. Volatility you cannot control. But what you can decide, what is the underlying, what is the maturity, what's the strike. So here, option strategy is whether it's a combination of or a spread. So yes, it's not in two different underlines on the same underline. So therefore, this is also given. What's the underline is given. Then only two variables remain to change. So in the vertical, in spreads, either buyer call and seller call. Simultaneously buy and sell same class of options. That means either call options or a put option. This is buyer call or a buyer seller call, or the other one is buy a put and sell a put. On the same underlying asset, either you buy a call and sell a call, that is one type of spread, or a buy a put and sell a put. These are spreads. Then, let's say there are three types of spreads: vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. So in a spread, either you buy and sell a call or buy and sell a put. That's a spread. How do you define that spread as a vertical one or a horizontal one or a diagonal one? That depends on which variable that you change. That means either you change the price, strike price, or the maturity, or both. So if you buy a call and sell a call at two different strikes, then it would become, it is a vertical spread. You buy a put and sell a put with two different strikes, still it's a vertical spread. In horizontal spread, what do? You do it for two different expiry. That means you buy a put option with 1 month maturity and you sell a put option with 2 months maturity. So then it would be a horizontal spread. In the diagonal, you do both. with different maturities and different strikes, both. You do both of the above. That's the difference between vertical, horizontal, and diagonal spreads. Is it clear? In a vertical spread, you use two different strike prices. In a horizontal spread, you use two different expiry dates. In a diagonal, you use two different strikes as well as two different expiry dates. This is the basic classification of spreads. What is a spread? Simultaneous purchase or sale of two call options or two put options. Simultaneous purchase and sale of two call options or two put options. Remember, it's not a combination of call or put. Either two puts or either two calls. That is a spread. When it's a vertical spread, you buy a call option with one strike and sell another call option with another strike. So in a vertical spread, you use two different strike prices. In a horizontal spread, you use two different expiries. And in a diagonal, you use both, two different expiries as well as two different strikes. So I think let's explain vertical spread. What is a vertical spread? Buying and selling calls or puts with different strike but the same expiry. Remember, you just change only the strike prices. You buy a call and sell a call with two strike price but with the same expiry. So you buy and sell puts with different strikes but the same expiry. So that's a vertical spread. Then again, spreads. There are two spreads. Two vertical spreads. Two types of vertical spreads. Bull spreads and bear spreads. In financial market, what does it mean by a bull market? What does it mean by a bull market?
Situation where price is increasing.
Yes, where price increasing. We call that a bull market. We call a bear market when the prices are going down. So now you should have some idea why do we call this bull spread and why do we call this the bear spread. In bulls, we use bull spread when we think market will go up, and bear spreads when we think market will go down, but with some limit. We don't think it will continuously increase. We think it will increase, or the chances of increase is higher than the chances of decrease, and only up to some level. We have a maximum level. In bear market, bear spread, we think prices will go down. Chances of prices are going down is higher than the price increase, and with a limit. So what is a bull spread? Again, bull spread. Again, we can create bull spread using calls for bulls. Bear spreads also similar. We can use call options or put options to create bear spreads. Okay, I'll explain call bull spread first. That means a bull spread created using call options. In a bull spread, the basic is whether it's a call or put, you buy an option with a lower strike and sell an option with a higher strike. That's the basic of a bull spread. The basic of a bull spread is, so if I delete this code for the time being, the basic of a bull spread is you buy an option with a low strike price and sell an option with a higher strike price. That is the action that you take. Remember that. Buy the lower strike and sell the higher strike. So when you use call options, then it would become call bull spread. Then in that buy a call option and sell a call option. Buy a call option with a lower strike and sell a call option with a higher strike. That's the strategy. So what would happen if I throw something? This is price. Two different strike prices, X1 and X2. You buy a call at this strike price and sell a call at this strike price. This is what you do. You buy a call option at the lower strike. Simultaneously, you sell a call option on the same underlying with the same maturity or the same expiry at a higher strike price. So this is the price, the higher price, that's the price that you think. The underlying price may not go beyond this. The price, the expectation is, you assume, or your expectation is the price will go up. That is your expectation, but not beyond this price. Basically, you think price will go up and remain in between X1 and X2. That is your expectation. So what would happen when you do this? If okay, to buy a call, you have to pay a premium. When you sell a call, you receive a premium. Which premium is high? If I put it as premiums as C1 and C2, which premium is high? C1 or C2? These are call options. Which premium is high? That is something that we discussed. What are the factors affecting the premium or the value of options, value of call options? Will increase when strike price goes lower. Why? When the strike is low, the chances of exercising that option is high. So therefore, premium on lower strike prices on call options is higher than the premium of a high strike call option. So therefore, C1 is greater than C2. Premium of a call option with a lower strike is greater than the premium of a call option with a higher strike price. So basically, to buy a call bull spread, you pay a premium. If you want to buy this spread, we call it buy the spread. You have to pay a premium. But yes, since you receive some premium, this will be less than C1. Okay. Now, what would happen if on the expiry date? What would happen if price remains below X1? What would happen if the price remains below X1 on the expiry date? You have bought a call option and sold a call option. The strike of the call option that you bought is low. The price remains below X1. Will you exercise your right?
No.
No. Will the buyer of the other call option exercise his or her right?
Yes.
Will the buyer of the other call option exercise his right?
Buy in the sense he is going to buy, like.
Yes, no. You have bought a call option and meantime you have sold a call option with two different strikes. The price now on the expiry date, market price of the underlying asset remains less than X1. That means less than the strike of your call option that you bought. You won't exercise your right because the price is less than your strike price. You can buy at the market price. My question is
market.
Whether the buyer of the call option that you sold a call option. So there's a buyer. Will that buyer exercise his right?
No.
No. Why? Again, still price remains below his strike. So he can buy at the market. So none of the parties will exercise the right. You won't exercise your right, nor the buyer of the call option will exercise the right. So when when we remain below x1, payoff equals to 0. You don't pay anything or you don't receive anything. Again, remember we are talking about the payoff, so the premium is not accounted. Now, the second scenario, what would be the payoff when the price remains in between x1 and x2? Price remains somewhere here. Will you exercise your right? Because you have bought a call option at x1. Now the price is above x1 but below x2. Will you exercise your right?
Right.
Sorry?
Yes.
Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Your strike is
Price
x1, market price is higher than that, you will get that difference. Will the buyer of the call option will exercise his right? Buyer of the call option with strike x2, will
No.
he exercise his right? Yes or no?
No, because market price is still less than the strike price.
Yes. For him, market price is still less than the strike. He can buy from the market. So what would be the payoff
Market.
here? Payoff. What would be the payoff here? Then you don't pay anything because the buyer of the call option with strike x2, he won't claim anything, but you have a claim. You can claim. What you can do, you can claim the difference between market price and the x1. So that is spot minus x1. That is your payoff. That means you receive. What would happen when it exactly at x2, market price exactly at x2? Still, you will get this difference, x2 minus x1. You will get this difference because x2 is higher than x1. That means when x2 equals to the market price is higher than your strike. You will exercise your right. Whether the buyer of the other call option will exercise his right or not, it's irrelevant because there's no payoff. It's zero payoff at the money. So still you will get these. What would happen when the market price remains above x2? Then what would be the payoff? When the market price of the underlying asset now is above x2. Now what would happen? Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes, because it's above your strike. Market price is above your strike. Will the buyer of the option with strike x2 exercise the right?
Yes.
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 Okay. What is payoff? Now, what do you get? Spot minus x1. When you exercise your right, you will get spot minus x1. This is what you get. What do you pay? You pay.
Spot minus x1.
You pay.
You pay x2 minus.
You pay spot minus x2.
x2.
spot price somewhere here now. That difference you have to pay to the buyer of the option. As a buyer of an option with strike X1, you will get this whole difference. So you receive this, you pay this. Then your net is the difference between these two. What would be that? It would be X2 minus X1. That means, in summary, when you buy a call bull spread, you won't get anything when the price remains below X1. You will get the difference between market price and X1 whenever the price remains in between these two. If the price goes beyond that, still you will get this difference. So your profit is limited to X2 minus X1, respective of the price goes up wherever. But if price remains below X1, you won't get any. Is it clear?
Yes.
So then now you can put this into a payoff diagram. You can put this into a payoff diagram. Price and payoff. Now, instead of one strike, there are two strike prices, X1, X2. As we discussed earlier, when the price remains below X1, what is your payoff?
0.
0. So, it will be like this. Then, what would happen when price remains between X1 and X2? When price goes up, your payoff also increases. It will go like this until you reach the price until price reaches X2, the second strike. What would happen after that? If the market price is above X2, what would happen? You will get
0.
0.
It's put in X2.
X2 minus X1. You get X2 minus X1, a flat. Whatever the price there, you will get this. So, what is this amount? X2 minus X1. So, this is the payoff diagram of a call bull spread. So, at this strike,
So they are why
you buy a call.
What?
Yes.
At there, why is that is X2 like X2 minus X1 remain like
The reason is okay. When the price is somewhere here, yes, what would happen?
Okay.
You buy a call here, and you sell a call here. That's what you have done. You have bought a call and you have sold a call at two different strikes. What would happen when the price is somewhere here, which is above the X2, higher strike? Then what would happen? Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes. Then you will get the difference between X1 and S. Here, you will receive this difference.
Yes.
Will the buyer of this call option exercise his right?
Yes.
Yes. So then what do you pay? The difference between
minus x2. S minus x2.
So your payoff is what you receive s minus x1. This is what you receive, and you pay s minus x2. You pay this difference. You receive this, you pay this. What is left with you? The difference between this. Whatever the price here, your payoff is limited to x2 minus x1. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's why payoff diagram is like that. So, what is your expectation in this? Price will go up, but not beyond x2. You want to get the advantage of that. Meantime, reduce the cost. If you just buy the x1 option, call option with a strike x1, you have to pay a premium. Whatever the gain here, it will be unlimited, you can get. But your expectation is price will go up, not beyond this point. So, if that view is realized, you can capitalize on that. How? You buy a call, pay the premium. To reduce the cost, you sell the call at a higher strike where you think the price won't reach. So you receive premium here. C1, you receive a premium here and you pay the premium. What is your cost? Is I explained earlier, C1 is higher than C2, so your cost is C1 minus C2. You pay this, you receive this, the difference is your cost. So you reduce your cost while getting the advantage of market or higher market price, your expectation. But with a limited high price, it won't go beyond x2. That's your expectation. But if for whatever reason, if it goes beyond x2, can't help, you will get the advantage of this. Clear?
The premium is like we sell the we buy a call option. We buy a call option. We have to pay the premium.
When you buy a call option, you have to pay the premium. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. This is you pay the premium. Here you receive the premium. So the cost would be C1 minus C2 because C1 is higher than C2. So cost would be C1 minus C2. Then what would be the profit diagram? Whatever this net premium, you have to deduct from this payoff. So it will be like this difference. It should be the same everywhere. So this difference is C1 minus C2. So your payoff will go down by the amount that you pay the premium. Can you see this? T1 minus clear. So if you just bought this call option, it would be somewhere here, but it will go up like this. If you just bought only this call option, your cost would be high. You pay a higher premium just to buy this call option. Whenever the price remains below X1, you make a loss. Then you incur a profit, but there's no limit. You will incur whatever the profit. So just to reduce your cost, because you think the price will not go beyond X2, you sell a call option. Then you can reduce your cost and meantime limit your upside gain. So that's why say no free lunch. You won't get anything at a lower cost without giving up something else. So you reduce your cost, meantime you give up upside gain beyond X2. If you wanted to get the unlimited profit, you should have paid the you should pay the high premium. Then upside is open. You can get whatever the price gain. If you want to reduce the cost, you have to pay somewhere else. Is it clear? So
Yes.
here what we discuss, this bull spread. Out in a bull spread, bull call spread indeed. So vertical spread, bull spread, buys the lower strike, sells the higher strike. Whether it's a call or put, vertical spreads, this is the concept. Buy the lower strike and sell the higher strike. So this is an example in a bull call spread. Buy the 500 call and sell the 600 call. What does it mean 500? That is the strike price. Buy a call option with a strike of 500 and sell a call option with a strike price of 600. Even in a bull put spread, you buy the 500 put, see, still you buy with a lower strike and sell the higher strike. You buy the lower strike and you sell the higher strike. Still remember, even though it's a put spread, it's a bull spread. Still you think market will be bullish. Okay, we'll discuss this put bull put spread. Then the other type of spreads here, bull spreads and the bear spreads. In bear spreads, what we do the opposite of them. In the bear spread, we sell the lower strike and buys the higher strike. In a bull spread, we did it other way around. bull spread and bear spread, what you do, you buy the option with a lower strike. So buy low, sell high. What does it mean? You buy a option with a lower strike and sell option with a higher strike. But in a bear spread, you do the opposite. You sell low and buy high. So if you want to make it much clear, lower strike, higher strike. Here lower strike, that is the summary. In a bull spread, you buy an option with lower strike, meantime sell an option with a higher strike. Can be either on call options or put options. Bear spread, sell a lower strike option and buy a higher strike option. Again, that option may be call, that may be calls or puts with the same underlying and same maturity for the expiry. That's the summary. So in the handout there are few examples. Now I'll explain bear put strategy. In a bear put, what do you do? There should be two strikes. What do you do? It's put. So you buy and sell put options. Which one you buy, which one you sell. Sorry. First we'll discuss bull strategy. I didn't explain bull put strategy. So bull put strategy. So we have to buy and sell put options. What's the rule? In a bull, buy low, sell high. So you buy a put. You buy a put with a lower strike and sell a put with a high strike. You sell a put with a high strike. Meantime, you buy a put with a lower strike. Now, decide what are the payoffs. Okay, assume market price remains above X2, somewhere here. Market price is S is greater than X2. Market price is higher than the higher strike. What would happen? You have bought a put option. Will you exercise your right? You have bought a put option with a strike X1. Now the market price is higher than that, because x2 also greater than market price is higher than x1. Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No. Why?
No.
Why? Why don't you exercise your right?
Because you can
sell at the market
you can
price.
sell it market.
You can get x2. Will the buyer of the other option exercise his right?
No, because he also can sell at the market.
For him also, market price is higher than his exercise price. So what would be the payoff?
Mm.
You want exercise, the other party won't exercise. So there's no cash flows. So the payoff is 0. In this area, when S is between x1 and x2, what would happen? When the market price remains this area, will you exercise your right? Stock price is higher than x1. You won't exercise your right. Will the other party exercise his right?
Yes.
Yes, because the market price is now lower than. Remember, these are put options. So that party will exercise his right. What is the payoff? You pay
x2
the difference between strike and spot. Whenever price remains somewhere here, you pay that difference. So you pay this difference. You pay x2 minus this. So payoff for you is negative. Negative this, that means you can write it as s minus x2. Clear? What would happen when the market price remains below x1? Spot price is below this. Will you exercise your right?
Yes, exercise.
Yes. Then what would be the payoff? x1 minus this. You will receive that. Will the buyer of the other option exercise his right?
Yes.
Yes. What is the payoff? x2 minus this. What is the net? x1 minus x. So this is a negative figure because x2 is higher than that. This is a negative figure. So now you can convert this into a graph. So this is summarize. So I'll come to this later. So you can see bull call spread. This is the payoff diagram. Even in a bull put spread, it would be same as the bull call spread. So you can see it. We'll go through this in a moment. First, we'll try to put what we have done here into the diagram. So try to put this into a diagram. If I summarize here, this is price, this is payoff, and there are two strike prices. What do you do here? At the lower strike, you buy a put. At X2, what do you do? At higher strike, you sell a put. What are the payoffs? When the market price is here, when the market price is okay. Before that, we'll discuss about what about the premiums. You pay a premium here. When you buy a put, you pay a premium. P1. Here you receive premium. P2. Which one is high? P1 or P2? What's the relationship between P1 and P2? P1 greater than P2 or P1 less than P2? Or P1 equals P2?
P2 is greater than P1.
P2 is greater than P1. Why? These are put option. When the strike is high, the chances of exercising that is high. So the price is high. So therefore, P2 is greater than P1. So will you receive a premium or pay a premium? You buy a bull put strategy, whether you pay a premium or receive a premium.
You have to pay.
You have to pay. If P1 is less than P2, this is what you pay, this is what you receive. What is the net?
Okay.
P2. The amount that you receive is higher than what amount that you pay. So in this, you receive P2 minus P1. Clear? That's what you get. Okay. We'll move into the payoff type. Now tell me what would happen when the market price remains somewhere here. Is there any payoff?
No.
Then it will be like this. When it remains x1 and x2, you pay something because
X1 exercise, X2 won't exercise.
You won't exercise, but the other party will exercise. So you have to pay the difference between spot and X2. Whatever this difference, you have to pay. So it will go down up to this point. Then what would happen? Whatever below this, you will get that, and you will pay that. Then the net is limited. Again, it will be flat. So you can see the shape of the payoff diagram still like the previous one. What is this difference? This is x2 minus x1 but negative. This difference is x2 minus x1, you get a positive figure, but this is negative. You can write it as x1 or x1 minus x2. This would be the payoff diagram for a bull put strategy. So similar to the bull call strategy. Now what's there? There's a premium that you receive. That's the premium you receive. Then what would be the profit? This will go up. Your loss will be reduced by this amount. So your loss will be limited. From here and onwards, it will increase up to some level. Then it will, indeed. It will go up to this. Beyond that, you just correct the. When the prices are above x2, price remains above x2, you just collect the premium because you don't pay anything, you don't receive anything. Only thing that you receive is the premium that you collect. So that is the profit type. So this is how bull put strategy works. So we'll put that into numbers and see in this. So as I explained earlier, in this vertical spreads, we attempt to profit from a directional movement. That means either price is going up or going down, but with moderate amount. And other thing is, whatever the loss, downside loss is known. We know what is the maximum loss. Even in this, you can see we know what is the loss. That is the strategy that we use. Okay, this is an example. You are given the call premiums and put premiums for different strike prices for a share of a company ABC. The current market price is 550 and the options are available as per this table. With the strike 500, call premium is 70, put premium is 18. Why? What's the reason that call premium is 70 when the strike is 500 and the current market price is 550? You can see with the strike 500, that option, call option is already in the money because the current price is higher than the strike. When the option is in the money, there's a intrinsic value. What is that intrinsic value here? It is the difference between strike and market price. So there's a 50 intrinsic value. The remaining 20 is the time value. But when the strike is 500, market is at 550, put option is out of the money. So no intrinsic value, only the time value. It is 18. Likewise, when strike increases, you can see call premium decreases and put premium increases. So these are given. So now assume investor is moderately bullish on ABC shares. That means he thinks share prices will rise beyond 550. Price will go up beyond 550, but he thinks it won't go beyond 590. So now at 500, current price is 550. So he thinks it can go further up, but not beyond 590. So how he can take the advantage? So what he can do, buy a 550 call and pay a premium of 37. You can see. Yes, for 550, premium is 37. Buy this call and pay premium 37. And meantime, what he can do, he sells the 600 call at the same time and collect the premium of 90. So here, if the strike is 600, you sell call option and collect the premium 90. So the net payment is the difference between 37 and 19, that is 18. So he pays 18 to buy a call option at 550 and sell a call at 600. So that's the bull call spread that he has done. What would happen? So shall I put this into the board? Okay, this is the summary. At strike 550, the investor bought a call option, paying 37. At strike 600, investor sold a call option and receiving 90. So the net payment is 80. At the beginning, he pays 18, whatever it is, cents or dollars or rupees, whatever. Now what would happen? If price remains below X1, 550, say price is, spot is 500, what would happen? Will you exercise your right? No. Will the buyer of the other call option exercise his right? No, because he can
No.
buy at 500. So there's no payoff. It will be flat until it reaches 550. What would happen when spot remains somewhere here? Say 575. Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes, because you can buy at 550 when the price is at 575. So you get that 75. Will the buyer of the other option exercise his right? No.
No.
Because still he can buy at 570 instead of 600. So at this point, 575, you get 25. So until such time, it will go up like this, go up. Should be a straight line like this. The maximum is x2 minus x1. That means this should be 50. 600 minus 550. This should be 50. What could happen when the price goes above 600? Like 630.
Right.
Both parties will exercise their rights. So you pay 630 minus 600, you pay 30 rupees. You receive 630 minus 550, 80 rupees. Receive 80, pay 30, your net is 50. So it will remain like this. This would be the payoff time. But you have this net payment, so therefore profit will go down by 80. This would be minus 18. So this, then 50 minus 18, 32, somewhere here, go up to 32 and remains. That is 30. The blue color, this line represents the profit. Black line represents the payoff. Clear? This is explaining next few slides. The scenario 1, if the price remains at 550 or below. then both options will expire. Nobody will exercise because out of the money options. The loss would be only the net payment that you made. That means net outlay, that is the premium that you pay. In the scenario 2, when the price is between 550 and 600, the investor who bought the bull call spread will exercise his right, but the call option he sold at 600 will expire without doing anything. So you paid 18. So at 568, it's break even, and the maximum you would get is 600. Sorry, 50 when the price is at 600. In the third scenario, when the market price above 600, both options are in the money, and both will exercise options, and profit is between 600 or the difference between 600 minus 550 minus 18. These are the two strike prices. This is the premium that you pay. So this is the diagram. So in this my graph, you can see this is when spot is at 575, but the break even gets less than that, 568. That's the point that you get the break even. So for a bull call spread, what is the motivation? Moderately bullish. That means price will go up, but by a moderate amount. Construction, whatever the bull spread, buy the lower strike and sell the higher strike. Net premium paid out. Maximum risk is net premium, what you paid. Maximum reward is the difference in strike prices minus the premium that you paid. Break even point, you will get lower strike price, the net premium paid. So that's why in this case lower strike is 550, premium paid is 18. So 550 plus 18, 568 is the break even point. Any question? Not we'll move into bull put spreads. So here assume the same an investor buys 500 put, that means with put option with a strike of 500 on ABC shares for 18 pence. That's the premium that he pays for a put option at 500. Meantime, he sells 550 put at 35. You can see when the strike goes up, premium goes up. What is the outcome at expiry if the prices of ABC PLC shares is 490, 530, 575? Okay. What would be the outcome when the price is 490? Both put options are in the money because strike is 500 and 550. Market price is less than 500. So both put options are in the money. You receive 10 pence, the difference between 500 and 490. But you have to pay 60 pence. the difference between 550 and 490. So basically you pay 50 pence. What is your net outlay? That means at the beginning you pay 18, receive 35 means you receive 17 on net basis. So in this case, net you pay 50, and once you consider the premium that you collected, 50 minus 17, the loss would be minimized to 33. But when the price is at 530, you won't exercise your right, but the other party will exercise. So you have to pay 20 pence here, but you have received 33. That means your profit is 13. When the price is at 575, none of you will exercise your right. So you just collected the premium of 70. That would be the profit. So this explains that net premium is 17 because you pay 18, receive 35. So net premium is 17. This is the market price. Both option will be exercised. So you receive this amount, you pay this amount. So the net loss for you is 50 pence. Loss on the options. But with the collected premium, net loss would be 33. In the second instance, when the price is between two strikes, 530, you don't exercise your right, you won't get anything, but you have to pay 20. So you pay 20 pence. Net loss is 3 pence because you receive only 70. When the bull spread, when the price is at 575, both options will expire. So your gain is 17 pence. You put it into a diagram. This will be the diagram. So maximum loss is minus 33. Maximum profit is 17. So you think price will go down, but not with that much. So that's why it's again said you are still bullish, moderately bullish. You think price won't go down that much. So construction similar to bull call spread, but only thing is instead of using call options, you use put options. Buy the lower strike put and sell the higher strike put. Net premium in this instance you receive the premium though you are buying the bull put, still you receive a premium. Then maximum risk is the difference in strike less the net premium that you received. Maximum reward is the net premium risk that you receive. Break even point is higher strike less net premium received. So higher strike less net premium. Net premium is 17. 550 minus 17 you receive, or the break even is 533. Maximum loss that's the difference between two strike minus 70. That's the maximum loss. Differences in strikes less net premium received. So that's the maximum risk. So
So these type of sums, like we will always need to be take the difference of strike price as well as the difference of net premium as well.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
This kind of sums always we need to take into consider the difference between strike price as well as as well as the difference between premium.
Yes.
Okay.
To you to calculate the profit, you have to consider the difference between two strikes and the net premium, whether you paid the net premium or whether you receive the net premium.
Okay.
So if you receive the net premium, then you have to do that adjustment. If you paid the net premium, you have to reduce that net premium from the difference.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is about bear spread. We'll take a break here. So sorry, that's about bull spreads. Now we are going to discuss bear spread, but we'll take a break here. After the break, we'll start this.
Sir, can I disturb you for a minute?
Sure.
Sir, you said that you're going to give an assignment today.
Yes.
Are you giving it today?
Sorry. Yes. Now I think it's already uploaded.
Yes.
So yeah, that's good. I forgot to mention that the assignment is now available. So you have to submit that answers by 25th. 25th.
This 25th October.
25th October, yes. So you have 4 weeks.
Okay.
By 25th October, you have to submit. And remember, there are in this there are two parts, part A and part B. So please provide answers separately, because we are going to mark it separately. It's easy. Otherwise, we'll have to wait until one is finished and to start the marking others. So please provide answers separately, part A and part B.
So we can answer.
Sorry? You can email the however, I think
there is a disturbance coming up.
Sorry?
There is a disturbance here.
There's a noise. Yes.
Yes. Now okay.
Now it's okay. Yes.
We can email answers. No, sir?
I'll check it, because on next week I'm not sure what would going to happen, because I'm going to finish sessions today. Next week, Mr. Sarjun is not available, so regulation part will be started on 11th, and he will take most probably 3 weeks maximum. So that's why on 25th is also on regulation. So I think most probably it will be online. So if you have to submit assignments, then on 25th,
you can email to.
You have to email. I'll ask what to do. Or otherwise, and if next week, however, I have to check with the institute. If you are willing to come, we can have a class revision here. But before the regulation part, however, even we do a revision after the regulation, we won't touch that much on regulation in revision class. So
Okay.
If you all are willing to come next week on 4th October, we can have a revision class, physical class here. However, I have to check it and I'll check it and let you know. But on the assignment, yes. For the time being, 25th is the
Deadline.
You have to meet that.
Submit.
Make sure that you submit it on time, and most importantly, no plagiarism, please. Don't copy from the others. Last time, even group assignments, we found things like that, and whatever you found in internet, you just copied. They have copied and pasted. We can easily pick them. So I asked them to resubmit. That's what happened. So don't do that. Don't copy paste. Don't copy someone else's answer. When we go through that, even when we go through 50 odd answer scripts, we can realize that this is the same answer as the previous one. So don't do that.
So when we are answering, hello.
Yes.
So when we are answering, if you're taking the answers from like really referring internet journals and all that, we can paraphrase and then put no, sir. Then
yes,
there will be no problem with the
paraphrase. No? Paraphrase is different than copy paste. You can paraphrase.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You just read whatever, understand, then write it in your words.
Own words.
Yes, your own words. Don't use that.
Okay.
So we'll take the break here. After the break, I'll let you know what exactly we are going to do next week. Are you willing to come next week?
Okay.
So I'll take it as positive.
It could have been better if we meet, no, because
yes.
I don't know about the others, but I think personally meeting up, because we didn't have classes like all the classes were online.
Yes.
It's better if you can meet up and have a class because it's revision also.
True. So that is true. That's agreed. The question is whether it's okay to have classes next week. So, however, no.
Yes, and we should ask others also, because
no, there should be any question, because if it was if this was not there, you have to come on every Sunday. Now it's just one of either you have to sit there to listen,
that is true,
participate in the online class, or you have to come here. So there won't be any barrier
to come
next week. Yes, I think there's nothing to ask.
Yes.
I check it with the institution whether they have arranged, whether they have any exam or something like that. Unless we can have, even from this side, I don't think it will be a problem. So in that case, we'll have a revision class on next week.
Only thing is like when we supposed to come to revision class, we need to do homework.
Yes.
There are a lot of things we haven't touched. Like we have to go through that. Otherwise, no point to coming. Because at least we have a basic understanding.
So then you can take a leave on 4th, and we can have after 25th. We can have revision after 25th. That means first or 2nd November.
Yeah, I think it's better to have the class after 25th, no? Because one person already suggested to have four days revision. That's also good, I think, because if we can have 2 full days revision, and at least extra 1 day or 2 days to do practice and the whatever the sums in the class.
So you need 4 revisions plus questions.
No. Two full day or half day revision plus questions. One person already suggested to have 4 days. No, out of 4 days, it's better to have at least 2 days revision and extra 2 days questions. No?
Questions. Okay, so now then fourth, there won't be any classes. But if you really interest, we can do that. Futures pricing, we didn't discuss that. No? If you are really interested, I can do that on 4th. Otherwise, you can take a leave on 4th, 11, 18, and 25th. We can have classes on regulation, and first 8, 15. Oh, starting from first, we can have revision classes.
But since we are having the assignment on 25th, it will be better if we can come to class, and if we have any queries or anything, questions, we can ask from you, and we can submit a good assignment. Otherwise,
on 25th,
yes. On 4th,
no,
on 4th.
On 4th.
On 4th, if you have better if you have a class, because we can ask questions and all that, and because we have the assignment to be submitted, and we might have questions regarding same, so it could have been better, no?
Yes, that's true. But even in online, you can ask questions. But if you have
that's
class.
true.
So what do you suggest? You want to come on 4th or no?
So we'll decide it after the break. It seems like otherwise, then you can time to think. Everyone
okay.
Think and decide. Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
people can think. Yes.
Without wasting time here.
Yes.
Okay. During the break, you can have a discussion.
Anything.
And let me know. Okay. So we'll take a break.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. Yes. Okay. So pair put spread. This is the price. Again, 2 strikes, lower strike, higher strike. Now we are going to use put options instead of call options. What do you do here? At lower price, lower strike, you sell a call. At X2, what do you do here? You don't sell a call because it's a
Put.
they are put spread. So seller put, here you buy a put. But if it is a pair call spread, yes, you sell a call here, you buy a call. Okay, the put. Now tell me what would happen if price remains below X1. What would happen if price remains below X1? You have sold a put option. The buyer of this put option, will he exercise his right?
Yes.
Yes. You have bought a put option at X2. Will you exercise your right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then what do you? This is spot. what do you have to pay? You have to pay this. You have to pay to the buyer of this option the difference between strike price and the market spot price. So you have bought a put option at a higher strike. So then what do you receive? You receive this whole amount. X2 minus S. You receive X2 minus S. You pay only X1 minus S. What is your total payoff? What you receive minus what you pay. What is that? That's the difference between X1 minus, sorry, X2 minus X1. You receive this difference. X2 minus X1. So it will be like this. This difference is X2 minus X1. The payoff. Then what would happen? If price comes to here, will this buyer exercise his right? Now the price is above X1 but below X2. What would be the action of this option buyer?
He will not exercise.
He will not exercise his right. So it will lapse. But what about your option? What you have bought? You will exercise your right. What you get? You get this difference. From here to here, that difference will be narrower and it will go down. So therefore, at X2, what would happen? Payoff will be equal to 0. This will gradually go down to 0. Then, beyond this point, what would happen? None of the parties, not you, not the other buyer, none of the parties will exercise this right. So the payoff is 0. So it will go like this. This is the payoff. Now, what is about the net premium? You have sold a put option at X1, lower strike, and you have sold a put. You have bought a put option at a higher strike. So the premiums are P2 and P1. Which one is high? Which premium is high? P1 or P2?
P2.
P2 is high. Why? The strike is higher the strike, higher the premium for a put option. So P2 is greater than P1. Then the net premium is negative. This is what you receive. This is what you pay. So P2 minus P1, it's a negative. You pay the premium. Then what would happen? In this part, you have to deduct the premium. Then after that, to go down. So this would be the profit. Right? The black line is the payoff diagram. Blue line is the profit diagram for a bear put spread. Clear?
Yes.
So in this So this is the example. So the investor is moderately bearish. That means he thinks price will go down, but with limited downside. So that's why it says moderately bearish. So he want to earn a profit on that view while protecting the upside risk. What he do, he can sell call and receive a premium of 37. Again, these figures are based on the previous table, this table. So he can sell a call on 550 at 37 and buy calls on 600 at 19. So the net premium is 18. Is it a payment or a receipt? It's a receipt because he sell call at 37, he bought call at 19. So the difference 18 is plus. Then what would happen at different levels? So at X1 lower strike, you sell a call at 37. Here you buy a call at 90. So the net premium plus 18. You receive 37, you paid 19, so you receive 18. Now, what would happen when the price remains below 550? On the maturity date, assume on the expiry date, price of the underlying remains below 550. Will the buyer of this option exercise his right? No, because he can buy at the market price instead of buying at 550. Will you exercise your right? No, you won't exercise your right. So there's no payoff. Payoff would be 0. Then when it comes to this area, assume the spot price is somewhere here. Will you exercise your right? Because you have bought an option, call option at 600. Now the price is less than that. So you won't exercise your right.
No.
But the other party who has bought a call option at 550, now the market is higher than that, so he will exercise his right. The payoff would be the difference. So when the price goes up, payment will increase. That you have to pay. So it's a negative payoff for you. So it will go down. Then what would happen when price goes above 600? Both parties will exercise their rights. So you have to pay this, you receive this. The net is you are paying the difference between those strikes. Then it will be again flat. This is the payoff. Okay, what are the numbers? X1 550, X2 600. What is this loss? What is the figure here? It's minus 50. Difference between X2 and X1. So you incur a loss of minus 50. This is just the payoff. What's the profit? The premium you have collected. So you have to add it. Then this will go up by 80. So you will collect 80 during this period. Then it will go down and remain flat. What is this? 50 minus 80. This will be minus 30. If price remains below the lower strike, you will collect 18. If price goes above X2, then you lose 32. Clear? So you think price will go down, but not beyond a certain point. So, which is explained here. Scenario 1, if the price remains at 550 or below, both options will expire, OTM and be abandoned. The gain would be limited to the net premium. Scenario 2, when the price remains between 550 and 600, the call with a lower strike will be exercised, but call option with a 600 strike won't be exercised. So in the third scenario, at the end, if price above 600, both calls will be exercised. So investor will lose 32. That's the maximum loss. So this would be the profit diagram. You can see 18 and 32. So again, in summary, bear call spread motivation is moderately bearish. That means price will go down, but at up to a certain level. Then what to do with call options? Sell a lower strike call and buy a higher strike call. Then you will receive the net premium. The maximum risk is the difference between strikes minus the premium received. Then the maximum reward would be the net premium that you receive. Break-even point is the lower strike plus the net premium that you receive. In the bear put spread, outcome would be more or less the same. Motivation would be again moderately bearish. Construction, that means what is the trade that you do with put options. Still, you sell the lower strike put and you buy the higher strike put. Remember that whether it's call options or a put option, you want a bear spread, you sell the lower strike and you buy the higher strike. When it's a bull spread, you buy the lower strike and sell the high strike. So here net premium is paid out. Why? When you sell lower strike in a put, you will get a lower premium, and when you buy higher strike, you pay high premium. So the difference would be negative. So therefore, you have to pay a premium. So the maximum risk is the premium that you paid. You will lose that premium. That's the maximum. And the maximum reward would be the difference in strike minus the net premium. And the break-even point is the highest strike minus the premium that you paid. So this is the example. Again, 550 and with 550 and 600. $550 and 600 strikes. So this is the trades. X at 550, you buy, sorry, you sell put. Here you buy put at 867. Here receiving 35. What is net premium? Minus $30. You pay a premium of 30. Now we draw the diagram, payoff diagram. Price at 550 and 600. So this is a put spread. A call spread. This is a bear put spread. Okay, now think what would happen when the price remains below X1. When the price remains below X1, both options will be exercised. Both options will be exercised because the price remains at a lower level. Both options will be exercised. So you have solved this option. Then you have to pay whatever the difference between the spot and the strike. You have both option here. What you have to do? What you receive the difference between the spot price and the strike price. You receive this, you pay this. So ultimately, on net basis, you receive this. You receive this. What is that? 50. The difference between 600 and 550. You receive this until this point. During this, price is here. Buyer of this option won't exercise anything, but you will get only the difference between X2 and this. When price goes up, the payoff will reduce. When price goes up, the difference reduces. So this will go down. When price moves above 600, both options are out of the money. So will be expired without having any payoff. So payoff would be 0. This is the payoff diagram. Then to calculate the profit, what we have to do? There was a cost of 32, net premium paid. So deduct that premium. 50 minus 32 would be 80. What is this loss? What is this loss? That would be 32, the premium that you paid. So this is the payoff and profit diagrams for a bear put spread with these figures given. So this is the diagram. Still the break-even point would be at 568. Profit would be capped at 18 and loss would be capped at 30. Any questions? So those are the vertical spreads. Remember, spreads you buy and sell same category of options. That means either calls or either options. You don't mix them in a spread. Then spread, there may be vertical spreads, horizontal spread, and diagonal spread. In vertical spread, what you do? You buy and sell options with two different strikes, but with the same expiry. Those are vertical spread. What are horizontal spreads? As I mentioned earlier, horizontal spreads are also called calendar spread. That because of two options are at two different expiries. So buying and selling options with the same strike, remember, with the same strike but different expiry months. So you may buy a 1 month call and sell a 2 month call on the same strike. Strike price is same but two different expiry dates. Why do we do this? Because of the volatility. What we expect in the volatility. What's the relationship between volatility and premium? Volatility and value of option. What's the relationship?
Positive.
Positive. What does it mean? When volatility increases, price increase.
Price increase.
What's the relationship between time to maturity and premium? What's the relationship between time to maturity and premium?
Positive.
Positive. What does it mean? If time to maturity increases, premium increases. And you remember something we discussed, a concept that we discussed, time decay. What does it mean? With the time, value of the option goes down. That means when it gets closer to the maturity, expiry, then value of the option goes down. And remember, we draw river diagram like this. This is maturity date. This is premium or the value of the option. This is at time 0. That means at the inception, price is high, but when it get closer to the maturity, value of the option goes down. So when it comes to here, time to maturity is only this period. So the value is somewhere here. But when the time to maturity is this much, value is somewhere here. The key point is when it very close to maturity, time decay is high. Price goes down at a higher rate. So with that, what do you do if you think volatility increases? What do you do if you think volatility increases?
Price will go up.
Price will go up.
Go up.
Then what do you do?
You will get into a call option.
You buy a
Call
option. Oh, what about buying a put option? Can you do that?
Put option you need to buy when the price is reducing.
No. Okay. When volatility high, price of what increases? Price of the underlying or the price of the option? Value of the option. When volatility high, remember, when the volatility high,
underlying.
no. Volatility high means price of the underlying may vary. It may be increase and decrease,
Yes.
go up and down very frequently. That's volatility means.
Yes.
When the volatility high, uncertainty is there, so the premium for the value of the option will increase, irrespective of whether it's a put or a call. The value of the premium will increase. So that's why you buy a call or a put. It doesn't matter whether you buy a call or a put, because premium increases. When the volatility is high, premium of any option will goes up. Then you can sell that option again and get the difference as the income. That's what could happen. So, but to buy a option, you have to pay a premium. But the way that you can reduce that premium, you can buy one call and sell another call. Now, you think about volatility. Okay, which one you buy, which one you sell? Longer maturity one or a short maturity one? That is the concept for the. That is the underlying behind the use of this horizontal spread. Horizontal spread, that means buying or selling buying and selling options at different expiry. You try to get the advantage of moves in volatility. That means increase or decrease in volatility. So if you think volatility will fall, what do you do? Sell a shorter maturity and buy a longer maturity. But remember, when you say selling a shorter maturity and buying a longer maturity, here it does not mention whether it's a put or a call. You can do with put or calls, but remember the what you bought, if it is a put, then you have to sell a put. If you bought a call, then you have to sell a call. You can't mix them up. So it should be on the same category, either call or put. So but what do? Since you expect volatility to fall, sell a shorter maturity and buy a longer maturity. Why?
Sir, now,
Yes.
so selling a short call option is riskier than selling a put option. Like
Selling, yes.
we need to consider
Selling a call option is riskier than selling a put option. True.
put option.
Because when you sell a call option, your risk is unlimited. If the price goes above the strike price, whatever the difference that you have to pay when you sell a call option. That's true. Yes. But here, you play on the volatility and you sell and buy with two different maturities, expiries, just to take the advantage of the volatility. So therefore, you can either sell a call and buy a call, or sell a put and buy a put. You can do that. And thing is, you can hedge your risk using other product. Just so when you buy or sell a call or a put, the premium or the value of that option may change just because of the change in underlying price, or maybe the volatility. So now here your intention is to capitalize on the volatility. So you can do other transactions just to mitigate the risk that coming from the price, underlying price. You can do that. So there's a technique called delta hedging. You can do that. You can buy the underlying. Since you have sold a call, you can buy the underlying to mitigate that price risk. But then you get the exposure only to the volatility. So don't worry about that. Just concentrate on only the volatility part. But what you said is correct.
Thank you, sir.
So in this, what you are trying to do, take the advantage of the fact that short dated options will lose their time value faster. So that's why you sell a short maturity. When the volatility goes down, not only that, because of that time decay factor, value decreases much faster than the longer dated option. So price of the option that you bought will go down when volatility goes down, but the price of the option what you have sold will go much faster than the what you bought. So therefore, ultimately, you get the net benefit. So this is an example. Sterling dollar spot rate is currently quoted at 158.50.55. The following options with ATM strike prices are currently quoted in the market. So 1 month call premium is 45 with the strike 58.25. Put premiums 50. Likewise for different strikes, different strike premiums. So based on the viewpoint that currency rates will remain steady, that means when you say price remains steady, volatility Is it high or low?
Low.
Low. Premium will be low.
Yeah.
So then the premiums, the sterling short-term puts will decrease. So what would happen when the volatility low? Short-term puts price will go down. So therefore, to capitalize on that, and investors sell the 1 month put and buy the 6 month put. So if you sell 1 month put, you receive a premium of 50. By the 6 month put, you receive 290. Sorry, 295. Then the difference would be 245. So this is a horizontal spread. You say buy and sell two different. Indeed, this is not horizontal one. This is a diagonal one. Sorry, something wrong in this example. What you have to do, if you are to do a horizontal spread, if the strike is 15825, sell the 1 month with a strike of 1.5825, you have to buy a 6 month with the same strike. But then the price of that would be higher. There will be a difference in strike. The strike should be the same, and the premiums, only the premiums should be different. Strike price should be at the same strike. Otherwise, it won't be a horizontal spread. So 5825, this is also should be 5825 at the cost of 245. So however, if you do that, sorry, at the net cost of 245, because 50 to 95, the difference is 245. So what do? You sell the short put, that means short maturity put. You sell this, then you get premium 50. You bought this 6 month put, you pay a premium of 295, then you pay a premium of 245. So that is the strategy that you do when you have a motive that volatility will fall. You sell a short call, that means short end call, and call or a put, and buy a long end one. When you have the view that volatility will rise, that means you think volatility will increase, then what do? The opposite of the previous one. You buy a shorter maturity and sell a longer maturity. Why is that? So price changes in short term options are high. So when the price increase, it will be much more than the longer end one. So when volatility rise, option price or the option premium increases. So that increase would be high in short maturity than in the long maturity option. So you buy a short maturity option and you sell a long maturity option when you expect the volatility to increase. So that is horizontal spread. Remember, in horizontal spread, you buy and sell options with same strike but with different maturities or different expiry. And your view is not on the market, that means not the price, but on the volatility. If you think volatility will go down, you sell a short maturity and buy a long maturity. But if you think volatility to go up, you buy a short maturity and you sell a long maturity option. Then the other one is diagonal spread. As I mentioned, it's a combination of horizontal and vertical. So what did we do in horizontal one? We buy and sell options in the same class, but with different expiry.
Maturity. Yes.
In a vertical one, what we did, buy and sell options on the same class, but with different strikes. In the diagonal, what do? We do both. That means we buy and sell options from the same class. That means either call options or put options, but with different strikes and with different maturities. So you buy a option, say you buy a put option with strike of 100, 1 month maturity, then you sell another option with a strike of 150 and maybe with 2 months maturity. So that is the diagonal spread. So in that, you try to get the advantage of both volatility change and the price change depending on your view. So that's all about spreads. So if we go back and summarize what we discussed, option strategies. We have 2 strategies. What are those? One is spreads. Other one is combination. What we discussed so far is this side, spreads. What are the spreads that we can have? What are the spreads that we discussed?
3. Horizontal, vertical, diagonal.
Horizontal, vertical,
diagonal. Diagonal.
This is based on volatility. This is based on direction. Whether the price goes up or that means either bearish or bullish. Vertical, we had basically 2 more. What are those? Bull spread and bear spread. Bull spread can be constructed using call or put. Bear spread also can be constructed. So basically spreads, any spread you can construct using call or puts, not a combination. Remember, call or puts. Either using calls options or put options. But combinations, it's call and put. That's the difference. In a spread, you use the same class of options, options of the same class to create spreads. In the combination, you use options in different classes. You combine different options, put options and call options. In a spread, either you use call options or put options for a particular trade. Is it clear? And the combinations, basically, you have two: straddle and strand. Those are the two options. So in spreads, there are more spreads like butterflies and different spreads. I'm not going to discuss those. This is the summary on spreads what we discussed so far and what we are going to discuss in combination. So then in a straddle, what do you do? Then I'm discussing long straddle. That means you buy this. You buy this straddle. What do you do? Buy a put and buy a call. Buy a put and buy a call. So that's why now you can see in a one trade you combine puts and calls. Buy a call and buy a put with same strike and same expire. That's what you do. You buy a put and buy a call with the same strike and same expire. Clear? In a straddle, what you do? Long straddle, you buy a put and buy a call. So if you want to sell, that means short straddle, what do you do? Sell a put and buy a call again with same strike and same expire. Okay, we'll see what is the payoff diagram when we do this. There's only one strike. This price buyer put and call. What happens if price remains here? So, okay, what is the cost? To buy a call, you have to pay the call premium. To buy a put, you have to pay the put premium. So the cost is C plus P. C is the premium on the cost. Sorry, premium on the call. P is the premium on the put. So It's very expensive in that sense. You have to pay 2 premiums. So the total cost would be C plus. What would happen when the price remains below? When the price remains below strike, what would happen? What is your action on your call option and put? You have bought a call and a put on the same strike. Effectively, what would happen? If the price remains below this strike, what happened to the call option? You will not exercise this because you can buy at a lower rate. So payoff 0. But what happens to the put option? You can sell at this when the price is somewhere here. So the payoff would be X minus this. The put option payoff would be X minus X. So as a whole, in this straddle, what is the payoff? 0 plus X minus S. So this is the strike. You will get a payoff. So basically, this side payoff of this combination or this straddle will be same as in a put option. What is the payoff diagram of a put option when the price remains below the strike? It will be like this. When the price goes down, your payoff increases. So this side payoff will be like this. What happens when price goes above the strike? When price spot remains somewhere here above strike, your put option, you let it expire. You don't exercise your put option. So payoff would be 0. But what about your call option? The price is higher than the strike, so you exercise your right. You will get a payoff of S minus X. So altogether, payoff would be S minus X. So again, this side will be equal to a payoff of a call option. So it will go like this. This is the payoff of the straddle, long straddle. What is the profit? Since you paid this C plus P premium, the profit will go down by that. So it will be C plus P but minus. That will be the cost. So this will be the profit. You buy a put and buy a call with the same strike and with same expiry. What would happen? Either the price of the underlying asset goes down or goes up. You make a profit. Only thing is, until you reach this break even, this period, you will make a loss of this, what you paid. Okay. When do you do this type of transaction? So when do you use this type of strategy? When you think volatility will be high but you don't know which way the price will move. You don't know whether price will decrease or increase, but whatever way you think volatility will be high. So then either way, price moves far away, you make a profit. Price moves far away downward, still you make a profit. Upward, still you make a profit. Is it clear? Straddle. So you go long when you think volatility increase, but you go short, that means you sell a put option and sell a call option with the same strike and with same strike and same expiry when you think volatility will increase. But when you think volatility will decrease, what do? You sell a put and you sell a call with same strike and same expiry. So then the payoff diagram would be other way around. That means turn it upside down. When volatility low, you expect prices to remain between or closer to this. So therefore, payoff would be something like you collect the premium. This is the premium which equal to C plus P. But in this instance, this is short straddle. In this point, you collect the premium. So therefore, it's plus. So the payoff would be like this. Oh, sorry. This is indeed the profit. What do you do in a straddle? As I mentioned, this is one of the costly strategy because you have to buy a put and buy a call, and the premium is high. In a straddle, again, buy a put and buy a call. You buy a put and buy a call, but with two different strikes and same expiry. Still the same expiry, but with two different strikes. Usually, strike on the put is lower than strike on the call. Strike on the put option is lower than the strike on the call. That's what you do in a straddle. So then what would happen? X1, X2, there you bought a put. This is where you bought a call. Then still you have to pay two premiums, but this premium may be very low. One of these may be low because you do this when the market is somewhere here. Both are out of the money. Even you buy one in the money, other one would be one at the money, other one would be out of the money. So the premium you pay is less. Now what would be the payoff diagram in this. What would happen when the price remains below this area? This is X1, this is X2. When price remains below the strike, you will exercise your put, but your call will expire. So you get the payoff like in a put option. So it will be like this. But whenever the price remains in between these two strikes, put, you will let it expire because it's out of the money. Call option, it is also out of the money. You don't exercise. So no payoff in between X1 and X2. So it will go like this. Then when the price goes above X2, it will be like a call option. Put option, you won't exercise. There's no value on the put option, but on the call option, there's a payoff. So it will go like that. Again, still, you have paid the premium E plus C. So therefore, profit will go down. That is the maximum loss. But there's profit opportunity either way. Whether price goes up or down, you have the profit opportunity. But in this strategy, your cost will be low compared to a straddle. Compared to a straddle, cost would be low because put and call options premiums will be low instead of buying at the same strike. The cost would be low, but to get the advantage, the volatility should be very high. It should move beyond these ranges. If it remains within the strike prices, you won't get anything. You just incur the cost. Price has to go further down or further up for you to make a profit. So those are the combinations that I want to discuss. Whether it's long or short, you have this. The rationale is explained here. So these are individual payoff diagrams for the call option and put options. Then payoff for the straddle when you put them together. So ultimately, payoff profit would be like this for a long straddle. Then there are two break evens. So whatever it is here, I explained that short or long. So I think you can go through this, and if you have any question, please ask next week. So we'll stop here. Any questions? So remember that next week we have physical classes here. You have to be here by 8:30, 12:30. If you have any questions on the assignment, you can ask next week. Now we have almost finished this, but I'll go through the last part of this presentation next week and explain basic of futures pricing next week. If you don't have any questions, we can stop here. So since you don't have any questions, so we'll stop here and see you next week.